I will give this movie this. I think personally, it has probably the most creative shot I think I've seen in any movie this year. So Joyride is a new road trip raunchy comedy that is something. It is definitely something. This movie follows four friends on a trip through China after a business trip for one of them goes off the rails. And what follows on their crazy detour are events neither of them will forget. At first glance, Joyride really did not seem like it would be worth my time. But after seeing it, turns out it was kind of worth my time. I actually kind of enjoyed this. And I say kind of because this movie is definitely not perfect. And right out the gate, what really drives this movie is the cast. I actually like all four of the leads in this movie. And they all follow certain character types that you would probably expect to see in a movie like this. You got the really successful one that's got a pretty good head on her shoulder. You got the best friend that's a little obnoxious, probably a little stupid at the same time. You got the really antisocial one that doesn't really want to come out of their shell. Then you got the one that is just way more successful than all of them combined. They have a dynamic in this movie that really works. Like, you really do buy their friendship and their kinship. And as far as being a raunchy comedy goes, this movie does a pretty good job of succeeding in that. To me, raunchy comedy is a form of comedy that is like a rubber band. You keep pulling on it and it gets longer and longer and longer. But eventually you pull too hard and that rubber band of yours, it's gonna break. And this movie does break itself a few times. There are a lot of running gags in this movie that run the entire course of the film. Some of them are really funny and really clever, and then some of them are just not funny. They're kind of obnoxious. In fact, the funniest joke in this movie has to do with one of the characters' vagina, and it does lead to a pretty funny reveal, let's just say that. In my experience, most raunchy comedy is used just for shock value. If you're going into this movie looking for something that's going to make you go, oh, that's nasty, or oh, that's fucked up, you're going to find plenty of that here. Aside from the one joke about the girl's vagina, most of the laughs I got from this movie was just from the banter between the characters. I do think this movie has one glaring problem, and it's the fact that this movie feels like two movies kind of meshed into one almost. I don't know if somebody had an extra script just lying around in the studio or something like that, but this movie feels like two movies just meshed together that probably were not meant to be together in the first place. And that just leads to a lot of really conflicting tones, because there are moments in this movie where it's supposed to be funny and comical, and then in the very next scene it's supposed to be serious and sad, and you're supposed to be feeling for that specific character in that moment, when not even a minute ago, her friend's vagina just got exposed for the entire world to see. Now, luckily, I liked the characters enough to where it didn't drive me crazy that badly, but for some people, I do think it is going to take them out of this movie. If you want to take those two tones and kind of mash them together, that's fine. But there's a way you can do it to where it doesn't feel uneven and it actually meshes well together. And I've really had some time to really think about this movie after I saw it, and honestly, I like it, but I don't think this is something I would probably ever rush out to see again. I got some laughs out of it, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I don't think this movie is going to come up again when I'm talking about the greats of 2023 at the end of the year. If you want to watch a really good raunchy comedy road trip movie, then just go watch Euro Trip. This movie at some points tries to copy Euro Trip, and it's just very evident. But if you don't want to watch Euro Trip, I guess you can settle for this. Like I said, it's a harmless raunchy comedy that I don't think is going to hurt anybody. I'll say Joyride is an okay matinee. Not the best thing ever, but definitely better with some popcorn. Alright, but thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thank you guys so much for joining me on my review for Joyride. I know this review was a little bit on the shorter side, but once again, like I mentioned in my Dead Reckoning video, I am going for more of a free-flowing style of video to where everything is not scripted. So, as a result, my reviews could get longer or they could get shorter. It just depends on how long I want to talk about the movie. And for this movie, it was pretty straightforward. There wasn't really a lot of complex stuff to talk about. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, I'm the Unbiased Movie Nerd, saying peace. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace out, everybody.